Only 1 in 4 Muslims believe that Hamas committed atrocities, according to new poll. A comprehensive survey by the Henry Jackson Society and JL Partners has brought to light some disconcerting attitudes among British Muslims regarding Hamas and the broader socio-political landscape. The survey, which polled 1,000 British Muslims, found that only a quarter acknowledge that Hamas committed atrocities like murder and RAPE in Israel on October 7th. This perspective is compounded by the finding that nearly half of the respondents, 46%, harbor sympathy for Hamas. This is significantly higher than the 26% sympathy rate among the broader British public, which, by the way, a 26% sympathy rate among the broader British public itself is freaking crazy. This is, wait, excuse me.
Wow.
Moreover, the poll revealed that a notable segment of British Muslims, nearly a third, favor the introduction of Sharia law in the UK within the next 2 decades, reflecting a strong desire for the integration of Islamic legal principles into the British legal framework. The survey also highlights the prevalent belief among British Muslims that Jews disproportionately influence UK and US foreign policies, with 46% endorsing this viewpoint. A leader in the Muslim community involved with organizations like Tel Mama and Muslims Against Anti-Semitism emphasized the need for corrective measures. The sense that Hamas did not conduct massacres and RAPEs in Israel is atrocious because it shows a closed off mentality to anything emanating from Israel. End quote. So, let me provide a little bit of background. Um, the Henry Jackson Society is a conservative think tank in the UK, and they conducted this survey with the help of JL Partners, which is the service that they hired out to, actually run the survey. They used a demographically representative sample of 1,000 British Muslims, and then they also used a demographically representative sample of the broader British public. So they polled 2,000 people roughly in total. And yeah, those were some of the findings. They also said that 52% want to make it illegal to show a picture of the Prophet Muhammad, compared to just 16% of the public. Um, and 23% say, excuse me, let me reread that. Only, only 23% said that it would be undesirable to have Islam declared the national religion, compared to 61% of the general public. And only 23% said that it would be undesirable to have Sharia law. Only 27% said that it would be undesirable to outlaw gay marriage. And only 28% said that it would be undesirable to outlaw homosexuality in totality.
Holy shit. What percentage of the population are the Muslims?
I actually don't know that off the top of my head.
Oh,
I think that's actually a good question.
okay. So I have a specific question. You mentioned, hold on, it's 6.5% apparently. Okay,
Okay.
6.5%. You mentioned from the entire population, what percentage um agree that Hamas committed atrocities? Like what percentage from the total
Basically
population?
only 1 in 4. I could find the exact,
No, what percentage agree from the total population that Hamas committed atrocities?
like 25%. From the total population of the country, or
Total population of the country, yes.
okay, let me go I actually have all the stats that they released in front of me, so let me go,
So while you do that, I
pull
want
it
to
up.
tell people in the chat because I saw somebody complaining that maybe the sample size was too small. That's because you guys don't understand how statistics work, okay? The
Yeah.
sample size doesn't have to be that big for it to be a good sample size. Like it doesn't, once it reaches a certain number, as long as the data were collected randomly enough, and then also based on the parts that was not random enough, adjusted, like given its own weight, um, uh, if it's scientifically collected and scientifically analyzed, you could do a lot with a significant enough sample size for it to be a very accurate representation of the broader population. So this is a whole science of its own. Once you reach a certain number, it doesn't really matter how much more you make the sample, how much bigger you make the sample size. It is a good representative. It's more about the way the data is collected and the way it's analyzed that makes it accurate. The sample size needs to be somewhat big, but not as big as most people think it needs to be. But go on.
So here is the data from the Henry Jackson Society, and here's the data
Mhm.
point we're interested in right here. Okay, so it's like um here is the affirmative statement, here is the negative statement. So Hamas committed murder and rape in Israel on October 7th. The general public, 62% agree. The 30% is like said don't know, and then 8% said no. And this is for the general public. Now, for British Muslims, it's the reverse. Only 24% agree, almost 40% say don't know, and almost 40% say no, they did not.
Okay, so 62% only of the broader population agree that Hamas committed atrocities. That is insane. Because imagine, I think more people would be shocked if people had this view about ISIS. But Hamas and
Yeah.
ISIS are almost the same level of evil. If not, actually, I would actually argue that Hamas is more evil than ISIS based on what
Oh,
I've
I
seen
think
their
so.
standards are. Yes.
I think so.
So, but I think if you said only 62% of a country believes that ISIS committed atrocities, you would think that's a country that is like, holy crap. But a Western country like United Kingdom, if you said 62% of them, only 62% believe that ISIS committed atrocities, people would be shocked. You would think that this is like it's a lost country. Like when it comes to beliefs, like we have completely failed this country. But they don't get as shocked if you say this about Hamas. And again, I think that the reason why it's so much easier to defend Hamas than ISIS is because ISIS targets Shias and Americans, and Hamas targets Jews. And again, if I think again the factor that is here different is the target being Jews, and globally people don't sympathize with Jews as much as they will sympathize with other people. So yeah, I think it's the Jew factor here. But also, given an angry keyboard warrior is also saying Zionism confirmed. This is another reminder to people why we need Israel. 62%. That is not that much. This is why also when people say like, why do Jews need their own country? They're safe in Western countries. You got only 62% of a Western country agreeing that the organization, the groups of people that murder and rape Jews, have committed atrocities in the UK. Yet, no, they're not safe in the UK. They're not safe in United States. They're not safe in Germany. They need their own country. They're not safe anywhere. They need to have their own country, or they need to have a country that they could go to and claim citizenship at any moment, at any time. This is this is the most hated group on the planet. They need to have protection. I mean, I
But
think
look at
there's
this.
yeah, go on.
It's
Ex-Muslims and Jews are basically the most hated groups on the planet. But go on.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the youngest demographic. It's the youngest generation that is most likely to think that Hamas did not commit atrocities. And it's crazy when you
Mhm.
look at who agrees with the statement of who Hamas, the statement being Hamas did not commit murder and RAP in Israel on October 7th. Who agrees with the statement the most? Females between the age of 18 to
Wow.
34 who are graduates.
Why? Why more females than male?
I don't know.
Can somebody explain the live chat? Why do you think this is more female than male?
Young female graduates, I don't know, because our institutions are rotten.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's so
I
interesting
see. I
because the
don't know.
older generations are like not into this. Well, I mean, as much.
Yeah, so Space Leo, you already answered this question, but it might be good repeating it.
Spacely is saying, does that mean they don't consider those things atrocities or that it did not happen? It's literally just the statement. Hamas did not commit murder and RAPE in Israel on October 7th. Do they agree or disagree with that statement? And more
Yeah.
people this demographic is more likely to say that Hamas did not commit murder and RAPE in Israel on October 7th.
Hmm.
If they don't think that they committed murder, what do they think happened? You know, a lot of
Um.
people are RAPE deniers. A lot of and
Yeah.
it's like it's really like the progressive movement has just like thrown Me
Okay.
Too out the window. Like, Me
Right.
Too? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But
What did
like,
they think? You're right. What
okay,
the hell
so
did they
okay,
think
but
happened?
part of me is like, okay, so like it's like the denial of the RAPE is just so mainstreamed at this point that I'm like, okay, like I see that. But the denial of the murder, I'm like, well, if that's then what do you think happened?
Space Leo has an explanation. Yeah, they think that IDF shoot their own people.
That's true. I have seen a lot of those conspiracy theories.
Hmm.
I have
But
seen a lot
like
of the
going
conspiracy
out,
theories.
coming out and saying that they didn't, like, that requires a lot of effort. Like that shows a lot of sympathy for Hamas, to the point that they said they didn't even commit murder. Like, they, you need to try to be this insane. Like, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or what about wow, well, let me find the statistic about Sharia law because this like yeah, there was a large percentage, only 15% said that it would be undesirable to have Sharia law implemented in the United Kingdom in the next 20 years.
Let's see. Wow. Here's the thing. This is going to be so. A lot of people are missing because a lot of people are talking about creeping Sharia and stuff. They're not noticing that you don't need more Muslims to be able to get, your politics changing entirely, right? You could get the non-Muslim population to agree with these as well. Like, a lot of people are just like looking at the percentage and like, okay, we have 6% Muslim, so these people have more levels of homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, Hamas sympathizing, so that's problematic. If this 6% one day gets to 12%, that 12% is going to have a major impact on lobbying, on how people vote. It's going to completely shift the direction of the politics, of the foreign policy of this country. But they're like, okay, it's not just that 6% that you need to worry about. It's also the young non-Muslim population that are being heavily influenced by the propaganda that is coming out of that 6%. That is that might be even a bigger problem.
It's not even just that 6%. It's also straight up the Islamic Republic of Iran. And we're going to talk about that today,
Right.
actually.
Mm. Okay, we
With a
got a
little
lot
thing
of.
called Al Quds Day.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's good. People need to know about that. We got a lot of super chats and membership gifts in the chat. So
Oh,
you want to get to
lovely,
that before
lovely,
we go to the
lovely.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, Oops, if my computer would respond. Oh, Darko gifted people 5 Atheist Republic memberships. If you just earned your Atheist Republic membership, please drop your emojis in the chat. Actually, speaking of emojis, something that Armin and I have been meaning to do for a long time now is create our own Atheist Republic badges instead of just these weird little circle things, you know, but we have been having a
Mm.
hard time deciding what our badges should be. Like, it needs to be very specific to AR. Like, Give us your ideas. Do we have any good memes that would make good badges? Like, please,
Mm.
please let us know. Um,
Most people do
we
just the same badge that changes color.
exactly. So, like, what should our thing
Right.
be? Is the question.
Yeah.
Give us your ideas, my friends. Gene is celebrating their membership for 3 months. Thank you, G. Saying it also gives you a highlight chat. Next news. Um,
Yeah.
Young Atheist is also celebrating his membership. Thank you. Saying people who support Hamas are the biggest threat to the West. Do I agree with that statement?
It's
Basically.
yeah, well, it's not just because they support Hamas. It's a signal that they have a package of ideas that are very, not to the West, to the whole liberal world order. They're a threat to the world, not just to the West. But yes,
Mhm. Um,
yeah,
and then stop animal cruelty. Okay. He gave a
mhm,
$2 super
I guess.
chat saying, wait until St. George's Day and see the real Brits. Yo. One thing I appreciate about the British is that they are one of the few Europeans that actually seem to be like okay with being patriotic. Like a lot of European countries think being patriotic is like evil. And as an American, my mind cannot comprehend. Um, if you don't oh, you're muted, Armin. Like, if you don't hear someone give a rousing speech about your country and you feel like you just grew hair on your chest and you turn into a bald eagle, like, I don't know what's wrong with you.
We should make an eagle emoji for that.
Yeah, the
Um,
American just jumps out of me. I'm like, "Hell yeah."
we actually have a news item about that. That's the last news item about. Yeah.
What?
Oh no. Oh no, no,
No, no, no, no.
that's the second to the last. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so, Bar Mustel gave 6 shekels, "Thank you," saying,
yeah.
I know an even more hated group, ex-Muslim Jews." You know what? That might be peak hatred. Someone who
we,
converted to
I
Judaism
will
from
top that.
Islam.
I will top that. And there is a person that is like that. An ex-Muslim Jew Palestinian in Gaza that was tortured by Hamas.
Are you
So there
talking about a
was a
specific person?
there was a person in Gaza who was a Muslim who converted to Judaism. So he's ex-Muslim, he's Jewish now because he converted to Judaism, and he's Palestinian, and he lived in Gaza, and Hamas captured him. I think that would be the most hated man in the whole world. Yeah.
Yo,
Yes.
they got that dude's got balls.
Oh yeah, somebody saying Amir is saying in the election, yes, he's very known in Israel. Okay, so people know him. Yeah, that might
Oh,
be the
wow,
top.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, Jesse's saying, "Is he also gay?" That would top it.
Yeah. That would top.
I love Zaid. Zaid is saying, "What an absolute mad lad, balls of steel." That
Yes.
is one
Oh,
of my
poor guy.
favorite British slangs, mad lad.
Yes. Yes.
What a mad lad. It's so good. All colors are entombed in black, saying, "Can I work on the graphic design of your badges?" Um, have you contact me on Instagram. The link to my Instagram is in the description, and let me know the
Thank
details,
you.
my friend. Um, Angry Keyboard Warrior gave 30 shekels. Thank you. Saying many Muslims say, see, we don't support ISIS, therefore we are peaceful, not terrorist, when most pro violence Islamists are also against ISIS. That's true. But support other terrorist groups like Hamas. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, it's actually easy. Here's the thing. Don't be fooled for this. Being against ISIS as a Muslim, for a lot of Muslims, it's not because of the violence. Okay, for a lot of Muslims, not all, it's because them being a takfiri group, right? So you have a group like Hamas that commits violence, sometimes even more brutal levels of violence. For example, like ISIS has some red lines, believe it or not, when it comes to violence. Those red lines that ISIS has, Hamas has crossed them. So if you see some Muslims trying to act like they're peaceful because they don't support ISIS, remember that sometimes they're peaceful, but sometimes it's not, because the violence is not the issue with ISIS. It's because they're a takfiri group and they don't like takfiri groups. Okay, that's the issue with ISIS.
Kenny is asking, what is takfiri?
By the way, when I'm telling you, why are you guys not using the Mufti emoji when I'm giving you Islamic information? Please use the Mufti emoji. Takfiri is like something associated with the Khawarij. I mean, this is not something that ISIS would agree with. ISIS would consider itself Sunni, but Khawarij are the people, like back in the day, early Islamic history, according to Islam itself, they were neither Sunni or Shia, and they believed that committing certain sins will put you out of the fold of Islam. Again, ISIS would not accept this branding, okay? But they wouldn't. But so basically, it's a belief that you could accuse people of not being Muslims based on their actions, and tell people, I could say that that's not a Muslim, that's not a Muslim, that's not a Muslim, and it's something that is associated with something that is now by Muslim mainstream Islam to be something that is outside of the fold of his. The people who do this are kind of like the Khawarij, which makes them not Muslim themselves,
And we
which is
will
kind
be
of ironic
talking
because
about
you're
the
technically
Khawarij
saying,
later,
"Oh wow,
believe it
really?"
or not.
But this is kind of ironic because you're saying they are not Muslim because they are technically, like, I know this is a simplification of it, but because they are they're saying other people are not Muslim, that makes them not Muslim, which is, I don't know, it's kind of like that makes you a takfiri. Anyways, it's all nonsense. Anyways.
Takfiri inception.
Yes, it's takfiri inception. Right. Yes. Can you
It's
takfir?
takfir
Can
all
you
the way
takfir?
down. It's takfir all the way down.
Here's a question, Islamic question. Are you are you a takfiri if you takfir a takfiri? Answer me
Oh, if you
that.
takfir a takfiri in the woods and no one is around to hear it, did it happen?
Oh, we've got
Enric is
another
saying,
super
where
chat.
is the choice to be a member? If you are watching this on YouTube, which you are because you gave us a super chat, in the bottom right corner of your screen near the subscribe button, like down here, there should be a little join button where you are able
Yes.
to join and support the channel. And thank you for
But
asking.
if you're looking at the chat on your phone, you're not going to see the subscribe and the join button. You have to quit the chat, and then you'll see the subscribe button. And next to the subscribe button, there's a join button. That's the button that you click there. You
In fact,
become a
wait, I
member.
think I found the link to join. 1 second. Let me double check. Okay. I think this is
But
it.
thank Enric for becoming a member. For
Yes,
wanting to
thank
become.
you. Join the channel. Okay. I just put a link in the description. Please let me know if that doesn't work, you guys. But
I,
please also subscribe. We are so close to 50K. And like once we hit that
yes.
50K, like we're just gonna snowball, the Atheist Republic Army is growing. Um, and Uzair
Oh,
Jibril gave his idea for a badge, and it'll just be Satanic Susie.
mm, that would be nice. Yes, that would be good. A Susie with horns, changing colors, or
It'd be
different size
so
horn.
weird to see like a million little emojis of me in the chat slowly leveling up as people are members.
That
Oh
would be
my
good.
god.
Right. Oh, new member.
Oh, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to Satan's Minions. Zaid Habibi saying, "Oh, horny Susie."
I don't know. I don't know if YouTube would like that.
No, no, no. But that's the joke, Armin, because it's me,
I know.
Satan with horns.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just got it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, and then they slowly get more Super Saiyan. I kinda like this
Yes.
idea. Okay, guys,
Yeah, I like
please
that idea.
please
Let's do it.
continue to give us your ideas. Um,
Oh, Enric figured it out. Enric figured out how to become a member.
yay! Okay.
Amazing. Okay, took me to browser to join. Okay, but again, if you're on your phone, clicking on the link might not be the good idea because it will take you to a browser. But you might not be logged into YouTube on your browser. On your YouTube app, you're already logged into YouTube. So it's just better to just go to the next to the subscribe button, there should be a join button. That would be easier, right? Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.